Cool. Well, welcome everyone. I am with Jessica Alves, and she's going to be talking to us today about low toxic and super toxic products that we find in just everyday living. My name is Liz Naughton, and this is Soulful Conversations. So I have some really cool notes about you, Jessica. I'd like to read them off if I may. You're a stay-at-home mom of three. You're
Yes.
also very passionate about the low tox or toxin-free living and wellness. And I'm just so curious about that because I know that there are a lot of people now that are coming into the world that are just super sensitive to any kind of chemicals. And I'm curious, it also says here that you have a background in fitness. Was that the catalyst to bring you into taking a look at what the manufacturers are putting out for us to consume in our everyday living, or was there a specific reason that you got really into or more interested in a toxin-free lifestyle?
Yeah, it actually went further than that. Fitness has just been part of my life. From I was 3 years old, I was very active in dancing and all the way up through high school in, track and field and kept with it on my own after, and then became a personal trainer and helped others. Um, but it all kind of started when I was pregnant with my first one.
Mhm.
Before I was pregnant, I was kind of mindful of the things I was eating. I kind of had the basics of what most people have, like this is bad, I shouldn't be eating it. But I really wasn't reading ingredients at that time either. I wasn't reading labels.
Right.
But when I was pregnant, that mom instinct kind of was like, ooh, I probably shouldn't be putting this in my body because I'm also feeding my baby. So I started reading food labels and trying to buy more organic, eating. I even eliminated dairy from my diet, and that helped some things too with my body. And slowly I took meat away, except for fish. I feel like I need to keep fish in my diet. So
Right.
with diet changes is what happened when I was pregnant, and from there with my kids. I have three kids, an 18-year-old in college,
Mhm.
a 12-year-old in middle school, and a 10-year-old in elementary school, so they're
Wow.
all spread out. But I just let's see, I work at home, like you said, you mentioned I work from home. um I love helping others, anything to do with health, just from my experience and learning. I thrive in that. And if I can help somebody with their fitness routine, if I can give any type of nutritional advice, that's like that fills my heart. So a relative of mine actually introduced me to her friend who is part of this company called Pure Haven. And she talked to me about her life changing experience in removing toxins from products that she did not know about. She was like me with food, but she didn't know, these products have loads of toxins in there that are harming our bodies, women and men, affecting our infertility. And her story about struggling with infertility and the doctors telling her she couldn't have children,
Right.
and taking it further than that and eliminating toxins and stuff. And she has two beautiful boys now. So hearing that, I'm like, wow, I, like many others, did not know. I mean, we assume the products on the shelves at the stores, they're safe. They're being tested,
Right.
right? All the ingredients should be being tested before they're sold in a store. And when I found out that they weren't, and I just, my motherly instinct, I was just furious. I'm like, wow, more moms need to know this because, or even teenagers, at in your teens, your 20s, these are things that they need to know, because if they want to protect their futures and if they want to have children down the line, this stuff is impacting their hormones, their endocrine system, their fertility, even men, their low sperm count. So this, like, their mission and their message aligned with what I was doing is just an addition to it. And it's something I was leaving out, or that's left out. We're not taught these things. We're
Right.
taught a little bit about nutrition, not even the correct way. But we're taught a little bit about nutrition. We've got personal trainers out there, but there's nobody out there saying, are you reading your labels in your products? Are you avoiding these chemicals because this can cause this and that? So that's how I began my journey with that.
So when I look at labels, in the grocery store, for example, I have no idea what it is I'm looking at. How
Mhm.
are you able to start to like decipher all of the like red number two and all of those things? Is there a specific protocol that you now go to as a result of your research? Or how would you help someone ferret through all those label readings?
I do one-on-ones mostly, like this, a free consultation, just to get to know a little bit about them. And maybe they have eczema or their children might have some eczema or ADHD or something. And I'll go through and talk to them and learn like their daily routine, what they do on a daily.
Mhm.
Um, but about reading labels, I kind of go through the basics, the red flags, I guess you can say, with food labels and product labels, the easy ones, because there's so many toxic ingredients out there. There's no way we can keep up with it. But there are like the most common ones, the most harmful ones that we can avoid, that are easiest to avoid. So I'll, you know, give them those basics. And I do have a guide that's on my website too. They can print it out or just pull it up on their phone when you go out into the store, something to help you for products. I do focus more on products now because I think a lot of people kind of have the food down pat, but I do help with that area if they need it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I do know that with food, it's like it's so individualized depending on who you are and what your needs are,
Sure.
that that almost has to be tailored specifically to that person. So are you looking at people that maybe have chemical sensitivities?
Hmm.
Like all of a sudden, and do you start with, like, for example, if someone calls you and say, my child, or I have this rash that I that I all of a sudden I've had, and I can't seem to get rid of it, or the medications are too harmful for me. Is that
Yeah.
like a place where you start?
Yeah, that's that helps me kind of like process of elimination and going through again like what you eat. I usually go back to my daughter, my oldest. She had eczema when she was from a toddler growing up, but I knew like the allergist or the allergen is grass and some tree pollen that she's sensitive to. Um, but recently, I always like Western medicine. We don't get the root. So we go there if we need to. And with my experience with my daughter and her conditions, they want to prescribe her those, steroid creams and
Right,
stuff. So when I learned about what that could do to her skin and her health, possibly, and I've read stories, it's not very pleasant. I didn't want to go down. I did not. I mean, no, I did not want to go down that road with her. So her when she was 17, we went to a naturopath and we found the root cause. She contacted contact dermatitis on the palms of her hand, both her hands, while doing working at a fast food restaurant. And I'm thinking it could be you clean after your shift, you wear gloves. Are you, is your skin touching these chemicals? And they do. They clean the
right.
bathrooms and whatever, and they use all these chemicals. And I don't know if it's the latex gloves, but in combination of like those things that she has never done before, her body just couldn't take it anymore. So she got contact dermatitis. And at the naturopath we went to, we found that she's highly sensitive to these surfactants. So she can't use the common cleaners or I mean, at that point too, I had to wash her hair. I had to do everything for her because she couldn't use her hands. So now with Pure Haven, what they do in situations like this is they provide those safe, non-toxic solutions because they're just not out there. There are safer ones with some companies. You'll find they will have maybe all organic ingredients.
Mhm.
Where they lack is in the preservation system. So those toxic preservatives is what's going to hold the shelf life. That's kind of like a tip too. If you're buying
Um,
something, in the store or maybe sitting in an Amazon warehouse, there's got to be something that's preserving that, and it has to be a synthetic preservative. So with the company that I affiliate with, Pure Haven, they use only radish root ferment, filtrate, and natural preservatives because they only hold so long and they're not going to be toxic to your health down the road. So with that, I have that knowledge of what happens when a skin irritation comes up,
Right.
kind of, okay, let's look at what you were doing prior to this showing up. And now let's look at your products in your home. What are you using? Is she using lotions that have these ingredients in it? Are you using one big one is laundry detergents to look at, and fabric softeners? Those are highly sensitive and cause eczema.
Wow.
So we kind of go through that. There was a mom that I helped, her baby wasn't even 1 year old, and the baby was having eczema all over her body, and she didn't know what to do. And so I asked her these questions. Instead of giving her like the CeraVe creams and the Cetaphils and whatever the doctor says to go over the counter,
Right.
we have a dream cream that will do just the same but has no toxic chemicals. So it'll heal and then also switch. She was using draft, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, the marketing deceives you. So I teach them also how to, you know, not fall into that greenwashing, that marketing on the bottles or on their website, and just read the ingredients. And that's what's going to tell you the truth.
Oh, that's so interesting. So how long
Yeah.
have you been using Pure Haven? So
Almost 3 years.
I've not heard of Pure Haven, so
Oh, no.
I'm
Yeah.
unfamiliar with the company.
Okay.
Can you tell us
Pure.
a little bit? Yeah, just tell us a little bit about it. Yeah.
Okay. They are not this huge giant company yet. They're in Rhode Island.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know Rhode Island. That's actually where I'm from, but I never knew about Rhode Island when I lived there. I never knew about, sorry, Pure Haven when I lived in Rhode Island. So their small USD organic facility is based in Rhode Island. They do all their production of all their product. They do all the sourcing. They don't accept ingredients from vendors unless the ingredient signs an affidavit saying that you're telling me every ingredient that you're providing to me. For example, there's ingredients that have sub ingredients, and in the US, there's no regulation saying that you have to list a sub ingredient or even tell your manufacturer that you're using this sub ingredient. So we don't accept that. Fairhaven makes them list it because we need to know exactly what's going in the bottle in order to provide safe solutions for everybody. Um, so they cover basically your essentials. They make things that you're going to buy from the store that you're going to use daily, from your shampoos, your toothpaste, your lotions, your laundry detergents, your cleaners, your baby products and pet products. And then they're also, like us, they provide that one-on-one help and customer service. We try and stay connected and making sure that what you're using is working for you. Just keeping that contact throughout and make, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But we also provide a lot of free education. So we have the online communities, we have one on Facebook, we have one off of social media that you can be a part of. Just keep this information coming to you, the education, um, even ingredient awareness, because like I said, it's a continuing thing. They're constantly being formulated, and the industry is just so unregulated that more people need the awareness to protect their families.
That's amazing. Do you
Mm.
have like a one go-to product that you really like using or that you recommend to your clients to use?
That's a hard one. I started with, because everybody said the very first product that they came out with when they started the company back in 2009 was their skincare kit.
Mhm.
Um, and that's, I guess, pretty much their number one product is the skincare line. And they do have an essentials bundle that they put together too. But for us, like aging women, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm over 40 now, I think I could use these benefits. It's like your cleanser, your face wash, a toner, an eye cream, your moisturizer, and a night serum. So a simple system that I started using, and I love it. And honestly, before that, I never was a skincare person, so I'm just glad it's easy, because mother of kids, having to run around, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely helps. So I'm glad that without any toxins, um, I get compliments that I look younger than my younger sisters. So that's
Nice.
yeah. But that so that line, the skincare line, it has pre and probiotics in it. So that's feeding our microbiome, helping reverse the aging benefit, the aging like crow's feet and wrinkles or color discoloration. And it also helps if you have skin problems like blemishes and rosacea. So it does clear that too.
Wow, so
Mhm.
that sounds pretty amazing. When you just the whole thing of the reading labels, do you have any tips for us about the greenwashing problem or anything along those lines? So, for example, if someone was looking at yeah, your products, like your facial products, as they were reading the list, and you're saying, well, these are all toxin free. What
Mhm.
other kind of products are you looking at that you're noticing can be like harmful? So can you give us a couple of tips on, for example, if we're at, I don't know, Whole Foods or something like that, and you can spend quite a bit of money on facial products,
Oh yeah,
and so what would we be looking at versus what Safe Haven offers?
Pure Haven.
Pure
Yeah.
Haven, yeah, sorry.
Um, well, right now, because the summer is coming, sunscreen is a
Uh-huh,
big one. So there's ingredients. The hardest one, I guess, to decipher in sunscreens is the oxides, like your zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. And a tip for that is when listing those, if it just says that on there, it's most likely um, nanoparticle, which means it's going to go through your skin and affect, you know, some of them affect your brain and it goes through your bloodstream. So the only way that those are safe is it has to say non-nano, where the particles are not going to penetrate the skin. So we can tell you that. And then Pure Haven does have the safe swap. I think Badger, I want to make sure the Badger mineral sunscreen, which you can probably find at Whole Foods, that would be your next safer option. But besides that, I haven't seen anybody find like come to me with one that is safe. You want to watch out for preservatives like phenoxyethanol in there. That's like a very common one that they use. Um,
right.
so
I,
that's with sunscreen, yeah.
I've never heard of non-nano, and they will
Mhm.
actually list that on the label.
Yes. It should be
Wow,
on the label, probably with an asterisk at the bottom if it's not on the top where it says your zinc oxide. Mhm.
wow. Oh, that's kind of cool. Do you have any other tips for us, Jessica, along those lines that we should be looking for?
Well, I can tell you one thing. What's going to attract you is the fancy packaging that's going to be nature-like and have that green leaf. And then you're going to get on the front, it may say environmental friendly. It'll say free from, you're free from fragrance, free from phthalates, free from SLS, all those sulfates. And I used to fall for it, and think that was it. That was safe. I'm
Right,
just going to tell you, you can use that to bring you in, but always read the label on the back. If the first ingredient on the back is water and it's on a shelf, there's going to be a synthetic preservative in there. So that those two come hand in hand. If it's water as your first ingredient, there's going to be a synthetic preservative. I can't pronounce the word, but it's a popular one is methyl isoviolazone. There's two long M words. That's how with the M. Those are very toxic. One of them was named contact dermatitis allergen of the year or something from American Contact Dermatitis Society. Sodium benzoate is another one that you'll see as a preservative that you want to avoid. And another one that's easy and it's very popular. It goes across all your essentials from like your shampoos, your lotions, all the way to the cleaning products in your home and laundry detergents is fragrance. That's one that I would eliminate. Like, if anything, if you have skin problems in your home, if you have asthma, or any breathing issues or migraines, I would suggest eliminating fragrance from your home. And that doesn't mean just like your candle burning fragrance or the air wicks that you plug in your wall. Those
Yes.
are highly toxic too.
Yes, that I
Um,
agree with. Yeah.
but the fumes that these things, when you're doing your laundry and you got that the fabric softener, I mean, sometimes I'm walking around my neighborhood and I can smell when somebody's doing their laundry. Those fumes are so bad for you. And then you're putting the clothes on, so it's constantly rubbing your skin, and there causes the, irritations. But fragrance is one word that I would suggest avoiding, if anything, and putting the word natural in it, which you'll see they put natural fragrance, that doesn't make it different. So fragrance or natural fragrance that can hide like 500 to 3 or 4,000 ingredients that they don't have to tell you what it is. So
Wow.
that's their loophole, um, their
Right.
what do they call it? Trade secret, where they don't have to, they can sneak in those phthalates in there. They can sneak in those toxins, and you
Wow.
just never know.
So what would you recommend for us if we're starting to take a look at living like a healthier life? I do know that just as an energy medicine practitioner, the pores in our skin are like or the skin really is the largest organ that we have, and
Mhm.
how everything gets absorbed through the skin. So even when I put lotions on my hand, it's like at first I'm really careful about exactly what you said, them not having fragrance.
Yes.
Because what it does for me when I use fragrant especially hand lotion, it immediately dries out my hands.
Mhm.
So instead of moisturizing, it kind of has the opposite. So
Mhm.
I am acutely aware of that. So what would you recommend for well, let's just say women my age, like the over 60 crowd, and we're really finally taking a look at living maybe a little bit cleaner lifestyle.
Mhm.
What would your protocol be for us? What would you recommend?
For just the lotion or just for
Just in
like in
general,
general?
if I
In
came
general?
to you and said, I'm just looking for a healthier lifestyle, what do you recommend?
Well, first is, going through your home and taking out anything that has that word fragrance. That's the easiest. And second, looking at your most highly absorbed areas on your body, which are your underarms and your scalp, and then I guess your feet and your groin
Mhm.
area. But your underarms, a lot of people think of switching deodorants. So your deodorant is a good first swap. And also keep in mind that aluminum and some other ingredients in your deodorants that you're currently using now, they could be blocking those pores on the outside and inside. So they create this barrier. So that's why we get the lymphatic system problems, the lymph nodes and the lumps around that area, because we're not able to detox. We want to clear those, keep those clear so that we can sweat. We're supposed to sweat. It's just we're
Right.
trying to not stink. So, um, with switching to a toxin free deodorant, we kind of recommend to help it detox over there too. And you can do things like bentonite clay and apple cider vinegar if you feel like making your own. Pure Haven does have a face charcoal mask, but also you can put under your arms and help to detox that area. Some people find that by just doing that, maybe
Mhm.
weekly, they don't even have to use a deodorant because they're keeping that area clean and detox. The charcoal will extract the impurities and keep it clean, and also take out those toxins left over from behind the older deodorants that you were using. So deodorant is a great swap,
Wow.
and also shampoos and conditioners, because you're in that hot water, it's pounding on your head, your pores are open, and you want to not feed toxins in through your scalp. So shampoos and conditioners are a great one.
So
Um,
if you have an allergy or a sensitivity to your shampoo, does it create headaches? How do you know that you are sensitive to the shampoo you're using?
Usually, they have scalp issues with
Oh,
like itchy scalp, or so is it psoriasis? Or I'm not thinking of the right word. Like when they get the inflamed scalp and it starts to hurt, that's when
Mhm.
you know. Or hair fall too. Some shampoos and conditioners have ingredients in there that will cause, your hair follicles to start falling out. So that too, we can use a detox shampoo as we're transitioning to a toxin-free shampoo. So that will help.
Oh, that's a great tip also. I didn't think about losing your hair as a part of your body saying help.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so interesting. Well, cool. If someone wants to get a hold of you, Jessica, how can they get a hold of you?
I'm on Instagram at non-toxic living with Jessica.
Okay.
I'm also on Facebook. You can find me the same way, or Jessica Alves, although non-toxic living, I think there's too many Jessica Alves. So non-toxic living with Jessica, you can hashtag that and I'll pop up. I am also available through email, which is non-toxic living with Jessica at gmail.com. And yeah, you can DM me through the Facebook or Instagram, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible and set up a one-on-one and help you from there.
Cool.
And I just wanted to say too, I don't know if many of your followers know this, that women alone are exposed to 168 chemicals possibly in the morning only. So from the time they wake up, the time they get ready, and then they leave for work in the day, just that short time span, we're being exposed to about 168 toxic chemicals.
And how does that impact our health? What do you see as a result of that?
They're all well, they're going into our bloodstream, so
Mhm.
they're affecting our endocrine system, our body's natural ways, and messing with our hormones too. A lot of them are estrogen mimickers. We don't, we don't need that. But the same, when I talk about women, it's the same with everyone, because the men use stuff too. Their stuff is loaded with those fragrances, those colognes, and the same thing. Baby products too. It's same thing there. And I feel so bad when I see these baby products being marketing and women going out there and, buying them for their babies, not knowing. Um, and it's hard. It's a hard market. You just have to learn to really bypass that greenwashing and really look at the ingredients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Boy, that's really given me a lot to think about. I have a girlfriend that's about to have a baby, so my head's already it's like the wheels are turning. So thank you so very much. And I hope this helps everyone else as well. We do
Mhm.
know that there are chemicals out there that's harming us, but to put it in some of the perspective that you laid out for us has, at least for me, has been incredibly beneficial, because I think about my shampoos, which are expensive.
Right.
And so I'm gonna go after this talk and go read my ingredients.
Yes. So if you look in my Instagram or Facebook, I have in my link tree, when you
Uh-huh.
go in there, I do have an ingredients to avoid tab, which will bring up the guide. Of course, there's only maybe 15 in there, but those are the most common ones. So it'll give you a place to start when going through your stuff.
Okay.
And my team, we just started this. We offer a 7-day challenge, and it's going to go on. It's 7 days on, 3 days off. It's creating a healthy home in 7 days. So I would give you a link to join the event, and at your own convenience, you just go in each day and you watch a little video. You learn a little bit on a different slide, and then you get a little homework assignment at the end, and you do that each day. It takes like 10 minutes a day, and when you're done with the event, you're just amazed. And then you get familiar with what you have at home that you're using. If anybody's open to that too, I just wanted to let you guys know we have this workshop.
Oh, that's awesome. And cool at the same time. Well, thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. Well, that concludes our talk for today. I'm Liz Naughton, and please know that you are loved, and namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.